Well, I'm playing a game. Yeah, should be fun. And talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, and how the first person who presents their case seems right till the second person comes on and refutes them. Proverbs 18:17. The one who states his case first seems right until the other comes and examines him. Right, P Money? You know what I'm talking about. He's skinny. Yeah. Uh, there's a whole bunch of relevancy to this verse, and I've been thinking about it a lot as this whole nonsense continues on. Um, into the future of the world. Well, knowing you, Skinny, it would not be out of the realm of possibility that you might do that to somebody. Yeah, but Amber Heard was able to craft a narrative that a lot of people believed, and she was able to go out there and say, yeah, uh, Johnny Depp beat me. And then Johnny Depp was able to come along and present his case that maybe he didn't. Now Amber Heard is presenting her case. Again. And I see a lot of people who they flip from one way or the other, like, oh, well, that seems more credible now that I've heard their side. And then the next person says, oh, they sound more credible. And they just go from one position to the next. Who are these people that read the text for Quest and WoW? Is there a chance Disney will change their mind once it travels over and asks Depp back? Almost certainly not, I would say. I highly doubt it. I just don't see why they would, because they're this gun dumb. I don't see why they would. They'll give a woke pirates with a bunch of, you know, all female cast or something a chance. But considering the direction they've gone lately, I don't see why they would even pretend to do it. Defamation lawsuits are supposedly pretty hard to win anyways, so he could still lose this. Just because he wins in the court case doesn't mean he wins in real life, and just because he wins in real life doesn't mean he wins in the court case, right? Like, it could change so that people think, oh no, he's innocent, just in general. But we've seen from Disney that the people who are the loudest with an agenda are almost certainly going to be the ones that they're going to listen to. Plus, there was diminishing returns on the last Pirates movies. It wasn't like it was a growing franchise, you know. There's a lot of franchise fatigue out there, and especially after what, 5 movies, and the last 2 did worse than the previous ones. I just don't see how or why they would. I think they should just leave Pirates alone for a few years and let it come back. What's up, Sam Rogers? Yeah. Yeah, it was because honestly, like, I was not a big fan of the second and third ones. I know a lot of people like those, but the plot, like, describe the plot of that to me. Like, I certainly couldn't. I've seen them multiple times. They're just so weird. Now, they're not terrible compared to, like, today's sequels that come out, but they're certainly not memorable. In terms of what actually happens. There's some cool scenes, or like lions. These headphones, man. I don't know if it's the headphone jack or the headphones, because I don't have another pair of headphones around where I could test it out. But they're always like saying, oh, well, it's connected. No, it's not connected. Keira Knightley. I liked the first one. In fact, there's a video on here where I talk about one of the best scenes and most memorable gunshots ever in a movie. Which is when Jack Sparrow shoots Barbossa. And it really is an impactful gunshot. So there's some good stuff in that movie in terms of filmmaking. It's a really tight plot and script. But the second and third one, they weren't very tight. And they just were kind of strange. And people liked the strangeness of them. And then they just didn't know what else to do. They took the plot from Tim Powers' On Stranger Tides and made that into one, melding a book that has nothing to do with Pirates of the Caribbean with Pirates of the Caribbean. And it just doesn't, it didn't work, right? There was good parts to that one. I like some of it. I like when the King of Spain shows up and he pulls down the Fountain of Youth and he's like, oh, and destroys it all. He says, only God grants eternal life, not this pagan water. That was pretty good. I like that scene. But other than that, there's not that much memorable about it. That's really kind of too bad because Tim Powers is a great author. He's written a lot of books I really, really like. Yeah, I liked 4. I thought 5 was okay. I didn't hate it as much as a lot of other people did. But the problem is not a single one of them was as good as the first one. And how could they be? It's very rare for a sequel to be as good or better than the first one. Like Terminator 2. That's probably the only thing I can think of that I would say is as good. I suppose Aliens, a lot of people consider that as good as Alien. I think it's alright. I don't think it's as good as the first one. It's a totally different type of movie. But sequels they're hard to do. The success of Pirates, I think, took a lot of people by surprise. Like Sam Rogers says, it wasn't designed for a sequel. Yeah, like back then, you didn't know if it was going to land. There were a lot of Disney movies back then that were live action that didn't do anything at the box office. And the idea that this one would do it, the Haunted Mansion, did that come out after or before, with Eddie Murphy? There was a lot of things they were trying at that time. It wasn't a huge time for Disney, that era. And they had a big hit, and so they tried to capitalize on it. And Johnny Depp was nominated for an Academy Award for that performance. And then it just got dialed up to 11, so to speak. And they emphasized all of that stuff that people liked about the first one, but it didn't have that tight script where you knew what the characters wanted. Captain Jack Sparrow wanted the Black Pearl back. The pirates wanted to be human again. Barbossa and his crew. And then Will Turner wanted to get with Elizabeth Swann, played by Keira Knightley. Hello, Gary. Well, so there's this whole Amber Heard and Johnny Depp thing going on. And what we began talking about was the idea of Proverbs, where it says that the first one that comes along presents their case, and it seems right until the second one comes along to refute them, basically. And that's what's happened in this, where you've had people that hear a side and they believe something, and then somebody else comes along and says, "Oh, this is actually the facts." And we need to keep in mind that we have to hear both sides of an argument before we can really wrap our brains around something. And then we start talking about Johnny Depp and Pirates of the Caribbean, which I think is much more interesting. Yeah, the Haunted Mansion Eddie Murphy movie, awful. Did they really do a straight-to-video sequel or a remake or something? Another Haunted Mansion movie? Really, a Haunted Mansion movie could have been a lot cooler had they given it to somebody who had a vision for it, but that's like all of Disney. Go back to some of these movies where Disney was trying to be a little bit darker in the early 80s, and they very rarely pulled it off. Watcher in the Woods doesn't quite pull it off. There's some fun things about it, but it's not great. The only one that I think really works completely is from that era that's trying to be a little bit more scary is one of my favorites. Hold on, I'll tell you in a second. Which I did another video about. Something Wicked This Way Comes. Let's get out of here before we die. Something Wicked This Way Comes. We had scripts actually written by Ray Bradbury, who wrote the book, and it's a really good adaptation, and it works as a movie, and it's a little scary, it's a little fun. I don't know if Gary's still here. Sometimes Gary just chills and doesn't say much in the chat. My wife dragged me to see Haunted Mansion. I had to say yes because I was trying to woo her because I was going to ask her to marry me that night. Nicely done. Nicely done. Yeah. Well, did you see that the short I put up has gotten like 6,000 views? Because of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp in the title. Well, no, just Amber Heard in the title. I mean, that's brought up in the court case, but she's accused Johnny Depp back in the day of domestic violence. And then she published an article in the Washington Post that was talking about domestic violence, and the title of it was Sexual Violence. And so Johnny Depp has sued her for defamation. And there's a court case about it. So that's the gist of it. She has a counter claim where she says that she's lost work because of Johnny Depp's saying that she was lying about it. However, she couldn't point to, when she was asked about it, she couldn't point to anything specific that she's lost. In fact, all of her contracts that she had on go at the time have continued to go forward, whereas Johnny Depp has lost the Captain Jack Sparrow role, and then also more recently lost the Grindelwald role in the Harry Potter franchise, Fantastic Beasts. I know it's controversial, but I prefer Godfather 2 or First Godfather. I mean, they're about the same for me. It's probably even more controversial. Not that I don't like them. I don't find them to be my favorite movies quite at all. Like where I would rank one over the other. They're about the same to me, which is decent movies that I don't really have any desire to watch again. I know pop culture wants me to say like, oh, every male should love The Godfather. I just don't. Not really something I am all that worried about liking. Jeff Potts, my man. I must have said hello already. I know I read one of your comments. Oh, I mean, honestly, Gary, there's no reason to, in my opinion. But apparently, Amber Heard's role in the second Aquaman movie has been cut down. At least she doesn't know it. It could be cut down. And so I'm sure Gary will like that because he wasn't a fan of the first Aquaman movie. Which everyone's entitled to their opinion. Speaking of things that are great, like that first Aquaman movie, I have been watching Ranking of Kings. It's an anime show. It is one of the best fantasy things I've seen in a long time, and I'm trying to just enjoy it for what it is. But it's kind of hard because it's so much better than things that we've produced here in the West, especially animation for children. It's compelling and wholesome and just fantastic. And it just makes me kind of angry about the state of affairs in American animation. So I highly recommend that. It's on Crunchyroll, which has a free option, and I think it's available on the free option. Yes, Avatar the animated series, Last Airbender, was good. That was one of the last great American animated shows. After that, there just hasn't been much. But I mean, we're talking that's what coming up on 20 years ago. When did that come out? 2000s, for sure. Early 2000s. I mean, it could be like 2010s or something, but I'm pretty sure it was the aughts, as they say. I mean, I couldn't get through the first couple seasons of any of those shows. They started out strong, and then they would just get so weak. Let's go ransack this woman's house. Anything we can take? No? Okay. Well, that was boring. But Ranking of Kings, I highly recommend it. And the art has a really, really great design, look to it, aesthetic. I highly recommend it. Ranking of Kings. Just really quite good. And like I said, I'm trying to enjoy it for what it is and not get too caught up in thinking about what could be here and why we're all just, well, not all of us. Gary's making good stuff. See, I'm not a, I like Superman. He's my favorite superhero, other than Titan Mess of Might. But I don't think he's ever been done well in live action. I just don't think Superman's a great character for live action. It's like, I don't believe a man will fly. Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I actually think Superman 3 is the best one. But like I said, I'm a contrarian. No, I'm not. I'm generally not a contrarian. I just, even as a kid, I would watch those movies because it was Superman, but I was always like, man, couldn't the Batman movie be on instead? But no, that was popular and not as old when I was a kid. So they weren't going to show that on TV. Whereas the Superman movies by that time were like Superman 3 was early 80s, so that was like, 10 years old by that time. 15 years old, depending on what time we're talking about. Whereas Batman had just come out within a few years of that. The Quest for Peace is Superman 4? That's the one with like the nuclear guy. Superman 3 is the one with Richard Pryor and there's like a robot and stuff. It's terrible, but it's fun. I'm not saying it's a good movie. I just found it to be the most entertaining of them. Is Titan a more tragic hero along the lines of Hamlet? But whoa, don't spoil it for us. I tend to think not. Just judging from what I think I know of Gary and from the tenor of Titan, it seems to me like it's going to be more about redemption and about overcoming. So that saga of Titan, I don't think is going to end with, Titan's friends killing themselves, a la Hamlet. I don't think it's going to end with... If it does end with Titan's death, it'll be a very sacrificial death. I don't think it will end with that, though. Just my 2 cents. I don't know. Gary could probably tell us more. But in terms of being like Macbeth, no. I mean, why? I'm not sure I would describe Macbeth as a tragic hero. He's not even an anti-hero. He's the villain. Maybe it's the downfall of someone who once was a hero, I guess, but I don't know if that's the tragic hero. If only a big net would end nuclear missiles like in Superman 4. I've never actually seen Superman 4. Yeah, it's true. Never actually seen it. Just not a movie I've seen. Seen all the Batman movies. If you even watched some of the old Batman serials. But, I've not seen all the Batman movies because that new Batman movie came out. Haven't seen that. I misspoke. I forgot that existed. I'm hoping that I can get back to working on Titan. Well, I like Titan. And I was just reading through the script I wrote almost a year ago for Titan 2 review that I told Gary I would put out, and I never got around to putting it out. And now I need to read back through Titan 2 so I can finish the script. I, of course, feel bad about having not finished that when I told Gary I would. The worst tragic for hero for me is Othello. He believes Iago over his wife and ends up committing Minecraft. He's an hero after killing her. Gee, what a hero. He's an hero, dog. An hero. We're gonna die. Well, I'm gonna die because I'm terrible at this game. Here's what we do. We go up here, and then we let these things fight him. Oh, none of these people are gonna help me? Ah, man. Come on. You people are just gonna let these crabs kill me? Thanks a lot. Killed by crabs. Nope, thank God. I don't know, what is a tragic hero? What is your definition of a tragic hero there, P-Money? Let's see. How many views am I up to? Only 6.1 thousand. Slowed down. It was a viral video. I was hoping for 100,000 views. 5,000 views in an hour, and then, man, just slowed down to a trickle. Oh well, what can you do? Thank you. I wonder what is a tragic hero. I gotta take my vitamins. Hamlet, I would say, goes through suffering to fought through his suffering to takes down the bad guys, but then dies while doing so. I suppose. I mean, he does die. It's true. I mean, it's definitely a tragedy. Here's what makes someone heroic. Like, I wouldn't exactly call Macbeth a hero. Not really trying to right a wrong. Just trying to become king. And then he definitely has a downfall because he says, no woman born from man can kill him. That's what the prophecy says, right? And then Macduff comes along and he says, from my mother's womb, Macduff from his mother's womb was untimely ripped. You know, she had a cesarean. And so that he kills Macbeth. If you haven't read Shakespeare, then not familiar with the story of Macbeth, that you can hardly blame me for that. It's hundreds of years old. I'm pretty sure the moratorium on spoilers is over with that one. I can understand when I spoil all my sons something that's within 100 years, but Macbeth, come on. Come on. Ah, crap. Macbeth is a paranoid murderer, but Hamlet fits in my opinion, yeah. Well, that is true. Gary brings up an accurate point, which is what they're doing with all the heroes is a tragedy. They're not really heroic in a lot of the sense of the word. And, you know, Gary's writing, especially Titan, kind of demonstrates how you don't need to have a bunch of nonsense and non-heroic characters in order to have compelling narrative, themes, and such. If you will. Dusty roads, if you will. Of course, I may be a bit biased towards Gary. What's up, Cross Comics? What do you think about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp? Are you following this amazing court case to the letter? Making sure you know all the ins and outs of the situation? I mean, there are people who are putting out multiple videos a day about this. There's people that are streaming the entire court case and then commenting about it after they're done streaming. That to me seems a little bit excessive. I mean, some of the people are passionate about it, but at some point, when does enough become enough? You don't think about it because you're not following it. Jeez. I mean, you call yourself a nerd on the internet. You're not following this. That's just sad. Just sad. Scooby-Doo is a heroic figure, easily scared of ghosts, but works up the courage to still investigate the bad guys. Or use Andrew Branca's book, The Law of Self-Defense, to kill that fly. How about that? That sound good? Thank you, Andrew Branca, for your book about self-defense. We have defended ourselves from this fly.
Well, it was the mosquito.
The mosquito. I mean, none of these want to be controlled. Monsters, they just, for whatever reason, think it's cool to not let me control them. Is Jesus a tragic hero? No, he wins. What are you talking about? He's vindicated and rose on the third day. I don't think that's a tragedy. But, I mean, maybe you could think differently. That's just a traditional hero's journey, if you think about it. What did C.S. Lewis say? The true myth. So no, I don't think that Jesus is a tragic hero. I think he's God. I have better things to think about, like my upcoming campaign for the Canadian Shield 2 and more, which is Snowdrift, a snow-themed character, also written by Rick Piper of Cross Comics. After the success of his first comic, The Canadian Shield, issue 1, he's now back with more. Someone wants to link to the pre-launch page for that. It would be greatly appreciated. Is there a pre-launch page, Rick? I mean, I don't really know. I assumed there was. Man, I am just getting destroyed. I'm probably terrible at this game, as I haven't played it regularly in years. I've got busy. It costs money. The tragedy is that all do not believe in him. Dang, Gary, with the theological point there. Yes, there is a pre-launch page. Well, there's like 1 million mods. on Indiegogo, I'm sure. Look up Cross Comics.
Told me if somebody beats me to it.
Alright. I'll tell you if someone beats you to it, Lady Vixen. Oh, Lady Vixen, someone told me that I'm not allowed to talk about abortion because I'm not a woman and baby cannot grow inside of me and I can't give birth to a baby. So apparently now you have to do all the videos on my channel about abortion because I'm not allowed.
Okay.
So you're okay with it? You think that baby should just be murdered?
No, they should not.
The funny thing was they still called the baby a baby. I'm like, wow. All right, well. So it's your ethics are kind of messed up there. Bye, Gary. Thank you for stopping by, Sir Gerald of Shipman.
Make it quick. All right then, back to the fight.
Oh, look at that! I'm about to level up. All right, where's this Sister Ashwell? Somewhere over here. I'm a bear of little brain. Everywhere I look. Oh man, these things are just endless. Oh, thank God I leveled up. That heals you. There we go, Canadian Shield 2. Thank you, Lady Vixen. The only mod that cares about Rick Piper's dreams of second issue of Canadian Shield. Which, what did I say in my review of the Canadian Shield? I liked it. I thought it was one of the only comics that actually felt like a comic book and had a satisfactory first issue of these ones I was getting off crowdfunding. It did not kill my, unlike a lot of them, it did not kill my desire to get more crowdfunded comics. There we go. P Money signed up for the pre-launch. Support your fellow Canadians, P Money, you jerk. I mean, you friendly fellow, you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yep. That's the baby. He woke up. I put him down to sleep. So, that's probably why he woke up. Merely an hour later. It's actually more than an hour ago. So, I think that's pretty successful. Have I not? Have I not done it? How do you know I didn't do it?
Enough chit chat. All right then, back to the fight.
How do you know I haven't signed up for the pre-launch? Come on. Up until recently, he has slept through the night. It's only recently that he's decided he needs to wake up, which is nice. Because his brother just woke up all the time. So that's been a nice change of pace. You want me to send you digital so you can print the pages for them to color? Oh, to P Money. Okay. Keep having to hide my cross comic sign-in coloring book so my kids don't draw on it. Hey, I have... there's a picture that I drew in that. If I remember correctly. Oh, Ghost Man or something. I don't remember. What was his name? Which one did I drop? Cross comics there, Rick? Which one did I draw? I liked the character. I thought it was a cool one. I liked the drawing I did too. Ah, man. What if I did it under an assumed name? Like a fake name. Like a pseudonym. And I just didn't tell you about it. I'll just slip one past you. I didn't. I didn't sign up for it. But I'm busy playing with Warcraft. Come on. Can't do it right at the moment. Good night, Jeff Potts. You old so-and-so. What am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to beat this person? Just now we're fighting? Alright, whatever. Money is waking up is really not bad at all, though. Most nights he's waking up after he's been asleep for 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, it could be a lot worse. That's for sure. However, it has been more recently at inconvenient times, like when I'm trying to sleep. So, don't care for that. When Lady Vixen is trying to sleep, that's fine. Wake up much as you want. But I am, of course, being facetious. Untended fishing rod. Let's go check this out. Seems like you could have done an assumed name, but I recognize most, if not all, the name signups for. Ah, man. All right. You caught me. That doesn't seem. I'm not going to mess with that fishing rod. Seems like a setup. Yep. So Amber Heard, she apparently pooped in John Depp's bed, and she threw a huge wine bottle at his finger, and it smashed and cut the tip of his finger off. Allegedly. A lot of lawsuits. These people. Be careful what I say. Don't want to be too declarative. It's interesting. Wouldn't it be libel if it's a suit over what was published in a newspaper? Isn't that libel, not defamation? Or slander? Or slander is spoken, defamation is either, maybe? I don't know. Somebody look it up. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel. Is that what J. Jonah Jameson says? Constable Henry Framer. An airtight alibi. Oh, goody. I think this lady's evil, though. Quite possibly. But I guess we'll find out. A gun? Like it's a gun axe.
Fair winds and following. That's better. Now let's.
What's happening?
It's an ambush. Defend the villagers.
She apparently had a terrible cross-examination so bad she left the court right after just sitting, instead of sitting just back in her chair. Yeah, that did happen. But I tend to think it wasn't exactly the cross-examination that did it. It was the redirect, in which her lawyer could barely ask her any questions because almost all of them were objected to, and almost all the objections were sustained. It was absolutely embarrassing for her. I imagine she felt pretty terrible that they're so inept they could not do the redirect in order to sort of rehab what had been done to her on cross-examination. Because from what I understand, people that follow this really closely on these live streams that talk about this stuff, that are watching all 8 hours a day of this court case, is that there's some things that could have been done a little bit better. These are lawyers that are saying a lot of this stuff, saying, I would have done it this way, or in hindsight, maybe this could have been a way that something they could have focused on. That kind of thing. Oh my word. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die here. Just die. Yeah, she was supposed to go sit down back at the little table, and then the jury would be dismissed, and then that'd be it. She just walked out. So, that was not a good look for her. But none of it is a good look for her. She is losing the court of opinion, court of public opinion, and that I can't believe I died. I don't think you're supposed to die from that. Probably because I was talking to you guys. I'll just chill up here. Didn't need an email, sent link in Twitter DM to download at P Money.
What is your business with House Waycrest? That's better. Now let's.
Okay, well, that's one way to do it, I suppose.
Defend the villagers.
Yeah, the issue Amber Heard has is that on every recording of them having an argument, first of all, no one has ever seen him hit her. They've alleged that she told them it. They've alleged that they saw some injuries. A few people have. Most people say, no, I never saw her with any injuries. A few of her friends say, no, she had injuries this one time. Did you see how she got them? No. But every recording of these two, she sounds like someone you would not want to be around. She sounds like a miserable person and does not in any way sound like what an abuse victim sounds like when they're talking to their abuser. She berates him. She is absolutely just mocking him. The idea that somehow she was afraid of him just does not ring true to most people. I shouldn't be dying to this. Embarrassing. Quite embarrassing for Amber Heard. A lot of people are finally seeing and hearing some of these things for the first time. The stuff that's been out for a while. And because of the high profile nature of it, Johnny Depp's a big name, has been for quite some time. Obviously, that is factoring into why she is just not being perceived very well. There's a lot of TikTok-y things where people are making fun of her. A lot of that stuff. Yeah. I guess that's what's going on in the world. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I suppose at some point in life, we just have to realize that we can't hug every cat. We just can't. There's too many. And with that, it is now bedtime for Bonzo. Good night. Adios. Hasta luego. Bye bye.